Tonight on CFTK-TV News, there was a mass stabbing on the lands of a Manitoba First Nation. The BC Premier and federal Conservative leaders surprisingly agreed on a matter, and an out-of-control fire has closed the Coquihalla Highway.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cael Maslin, and here's what's making the news in the Northwest and beyond for today. Yesterday saw the BC government post a notification that said the North Coast inland sections were being put under an air quality warning, and today has seen the newest update from the government reveal that the entire area is still under that same warning. More information can be found on the government's website, and new updates on the warnings are released every day. The Smithers RCMP announced that they have officially secured funding from the provincial government via their Community Safety and Targeted Enforcement program. The purpose of C-STEP is to allow officers to take on additional overtime shifts so they can increase the amount of proactive patrols in the community. These new funds come after the Smithers RCMP had taken part in a similar program last year called SIGHT, which got positive feedback from community members. C-STEP has also seemingly worked quite well in the community of Terrace, with the local RCMP detachment reporting a high number of additional arrests during the previous couple of months. There was a mass stabbing yesterday on the lands of a Manitoba First Nation that resulted in the death of an 18-year-old woman and many other injuries. The First Nations chief recently gave an emotional address on the tragedy.
And my prayers goes to the people that are in the hospital right now, recovering. Now, and I'll ask the community to continue to pray for them.
Police say 8 people were found severely hurt in 2 homes on the Hollow Water First Nation northeast of Winnipeg. The suspect in the case died after the stolen vehicle he was driving collided with a police cruiser. The crash seriously injured a female police officer, and the incident came 3 years to the day after a mass stabbing on James Smith Cree Nation in the Saskatchewan province, but the RCMP believe that the date is just a coincidence. Now to an unlikely agreement between an NDP premier and Conservative leader. BC Premier David Eby supported Pierre Poilievre's idea to scrap the temporary foreign workers program, as the premier blames foreign workers for ratcheting up youth unemployment to troubling levels. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
In Surrey, to announce a much-needed expansion to overcrowded Clayton Heights Secondary School, the premier took aim at the federal government.
You know, we're playing catch-up from rapidly growing population in this province, fed by a federal immigration program that disregarded our ability to keep up with critical infrastructure like schools.
And he didn't stop there. Eby honed in on what he sees as consequences of the temporary foreign workers program.
The fact that too many people, the majority of people using our food banks, have been in Canada for less than 2 years, that our homeless shelters have new arrivals to Canada in them instead of people who have been living on our streets for a while. The fact that young people are facing challenges getting into the employment market.
The NDP premier went a step further, agreeing with the leader of the federal Conservatives, who on Wednesday called for the temporary foreign workers program to be scrapped altogether.
Here in Surrey, where I'm standing right now, serious concerns have been raised about fraud, about the sale of labor market assessments by individuals here in Surrey that have gone on unaddressed and unpoliced. That program needs to be either reformed significantly or cancelled.
I'm very disappointed in the Premier's misguided comments. They couldn't be further from the truth.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business disputes Eby's claims of widespread fraud in the program, or that temporary foreign workers are flocking to food banks and homeless shelters.
I didn't hear much that reflected reality in the Premier's statements today. I was surprised, especially because over a year ago, the Premier promised a reset of his relationship with the business community.
The CFIB argues some BC businesses would likely go under without the program.
I've heard from, for example, hospitality businesses in rural and remote communities like Lillooet, who rely on this program to keep their doors open because they can't find anyone else willing to do the work. Ultimately,
it's not up to Eby to keep or scrap the federal program. That's a decision for the Prime Minister. Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
Coming up next, Vancouver released another report on the Lapu-Lapu tragedy. Welcome back. The Coquihalla Highway remains closed because of an out-of-control wildfire. It's exploded in size and is now burning on both sides of the highway. No word yet on when it'll reopen. CTV's Kevin Schrack has more on the challenges crews face and the impact on BC's trucking industry.
It's like I'm going into this dark hole.
Like special effects from a movie, the Coquihalla turning into a highway to hell. The driver who captured this video told CTV News you could feel the intense heat.
Oh my gosh.
The Mine Creek wildfire forced officials to close the Coquihalla in both directions between Hope and Merritt.
We had trucks going through that fire, and it's a scary thing for our drivers and the public to navigate.
Steve Gafer with Aero Transportation says about 30 of his company's trucks are impacted.
We do have alternate routes at times we can use, but depending on the configuration, it may not be legal to travel on Highway 1. So it basically puts a standstill to a lot of the industry.
The fire, discovered Monday, has become increasingly aggressive, growing to at least 1,900 hectares.
So by the time this fire was reported and we were able to get air resources to it, which was upon discovery, it had already grown to the point where an initial attack and a helicopter resource would not be able to address it fully.
This is scary.
The BC Wildfire Service says unseasonably warm weather, strong winds, and steep terrain are making the fire tough to fight.
Additionally, there isn't a whole lot of access as far as roads go because of bridge washouts from previous floods.
Dozens of properties are under evacuation alert, one home under an order. Drivers are advised to use Highway 1 or 3 as alternatives. Gafer argues better forestry management could have prevented this.
It's near impossible to put them out at this point. So we have to be more proactive, in my mind, from a policy perspective.
The fire is believed to be lightning caused. Kevin Schrack, CTV News.
Vancouver police in the city have released a final report into event safety after the Lapu-Lapu tragedy in April. The focus is beefing up barriers, but also a new plea for senior levels of government to tackle the mental health crisis. CTV's Martin McMahon has more.
Make no mistake about it, April the 26th was the darkest day in the history of Vancouver.
Vancouver is still reeling from April's vehicle ramming attack at the Lapu-Lapu Filipino Street Festival, which left 11 people dead and many others injured. Now, just over 4 months later, a report outlines 8 recommendations.
Now, with the release of the full final report, our hope is that its findings and recommendations will bring both a clearer sense of understanding and a roadmap for the future.
The recommendations cover a number of areas and include a call for the feds and province to pass standardized event safety legislation.
When you standardize public safety events, you create a basement or a platform where the bar is set higher. It's consistent across the province. With that can come funding.
Beyond the report, the mayor also calling for more to be done to address mental health.
We have to get serious about this. We have to, do a deep dive on mental health and not researching it anymore, actually actioning solutions to deal and to, address mental health issues.
The Premier was asked about the report ahead of its release.
This report will hopefully provide insight to us about how the provincial government can also provide support going forward to prevent this from ever happening again.
This larger discussion on public safety at major events comes ahead of next summer's FIFA World Cup, where Vancouver will be one of the host cities.
And make no mistake about it, we will be ready for FIFA, and it will be a safe, successful event.
Despite the public pressure for action, the report leaves out one key detail, a timeline, with the mayor only saying he wants the recommendations brought in as soon as possible. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
There's more pushback to a controversial court decision that some say could be a threat to all landowners in the province. The city of Richmond has filed an appeal of the recent case confirming Cowichan Nation's Aboriginal title to a large parcel of South Richmond. CTV's Rob Buffum reports.
Backlash to a landmark court decision granting Aboriginal title to private land in Richmond continues.
We're committed to reconciliation. We're going to do it. This decision upends a lot of our work.
The court granted Aboriginal title and rights to a parcel of land in Richmond that includes private homes and businesses. The judge finding that private property and Aboriginal title coexisted there, and Aboriginal title trumped private property.
The decision of the court basically took the land title system that we have had in the province for so many years, and it has worked so well. And it has basically upended it.
It's triggered a wave of concern that all private property rights in BC could be impacted by the precedent. The City of Richmond, one of 6 defendants, confirmed Thursday it has filed an appeal.
This could impact almost every freehold interest in the province.
The opposition BC Conservatives are pushing for a reference question to the Supreme Court of Canada to provide certainty on whether private rights and Aboriginal title can coexist, and if so, what that means for private landowners.
It will take years, even with an expedited process, to go through an appeals court and ultimately to the Supreme Court of Canada. British Columbia cannot face that kind of uncertainty for that length of time.
The Premier agrees certainty is critical and a fast decision is desirable, but favors expediting the appeals court process even if longer than a reference, so the facts of this case are part of the decision.
I don't want the court making a decision in the abstract on academic principles. I want the court to look into the eyes, metaphorically speaking, of the people who will be directly affected by this decision.
Meanwhile, another defendant, the Musqueam Indian Band, is also expected to appeal, likely in the coming days.
And now we'll take a look at both your nightly and weekly weather forecast. On the north coast, tonight should see periods of drizzle and a low at 14 degrees, while the upcoming week jumps back and forth between sunny and rainy days, with a mixed condition day in the middle and a high bouncing between 18 and 16 degrees. In the Terrace-Kitimat area, tonight's forecast expects a few clouds and a low at 14 degrees, with the rest of the week mostly consisting of mixed sun and cloud days, along with one purely sunny day, and a high moving from 24 to 18 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, their night is set to see more smoky conditions and a low of 9 degrees, with the next week starting off smoky as well before getting sunny for a few days, and then seeing clouds come in as their high shifts between 27 and 22 degrees. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. Highway 16 has construction work, bridge maintenance, utility work, a special event plan, road maintenance work, paving operations, and the Usk Ferry is currently out of service due to the low river level. Highway 37 has bridge construction and construction work planned, and Highway 37A is still dealing with falling rocks between west of Beziaden and east of Stewart and paving operations, and the Nishka Highway has some road construction work. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, scams pretending to be ICBC have surged in number. Welcome back. A surge in scam texts pretending to be ICBC have prompted a warning from the Crown Corporation itself. People are receiving texts saying they've received a traffic ticket, and as CTV's Dimitra Maragos reports, tech experts say with the rise of AI, everything should be read with skepticism.
On Tuesday morning, Shauna Jimmy received this text claiming to be ICBC.
It looks very professional.
The issue? An unresolved traffic fine.
That split second, oh, what did I do wrong?
After reviewing the text again, she realized it was a scam.
There's so many people out there that would fall for that.
If you receive a text like this, it is a scam. Please delete it.
Greg Harper, a spokesperson for ICBC, says they are aware of these fraudulent texts.
We would never text our customers looking for their identity, seeking payment via links in a text.
And added they're working with a cybersecurity team to report and remove fraudulent websites.
It looks so real.
Micah Gerbo says even tech experts like himself
The ICBC one, I just got it this morning myself.
aren't safe from receiving these texts. He says some of the dead giveaways like poor grammar or misspellings and scam messages from the past aren't there anymore.
With AI now, they are perfect, and they can also craft and specialize them for each individual as well.
And adds, all texts that look too good to be true should be looked at with a critical eye.
Don't click on anything. Just delete them right off the bat.
Demetra Marigo, CTV News, Maple Ridge.
A Surrey family whose grandfather has been missing for about a week is pleading with the public for help. His daughter says he went on his daily afternoon walk but never came home. As CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports, the family has spent nearly every waking minute trying to find him.
This is possible open end, is the scary part about it.
Christina Morrison is referring to where this trail in Surrey leads, an open field and then the highway, a possible route her father may have ended up on when he left for a walk last week. The 76-year-old hasn't been seen since.
I've never lived more minute to minute than right now. You wake up at night and you desperately grab your phone, hoping for a message or some update that maybe somebody's seen him somewhere.
Morrison says her dad, William or Bill Hayworth, wandered down the driveway of her parents' home in Fraser Heights last Wednesday around 12:30. She says he continued south on the 16200 block of Glenwood Crescent and believes he turned right on this trail.
Never once has he strayed, never once has he caused any reason for alarm that he may not make it home.
The family, along with their friends, are canvassing the community, handing out hundreds of flyers.
We have a tremendous outpouring of friends and family that have really pitched in.
This video captured Hayworth that day. The former high school teacher is described as 5'10" and weighs 200 pounds. He was wearing a white baseball hat, blue shirt, black shorts, and white sneakers. Morrison says her father has dementia, but always knows how to get home. She's asking people to check any camera footage they may have.
We just don't have any idea what could have happened to him.
Surrey police are asking anyone with information to contact them. If the public locates Hayworth, police are encouraging them to stay with him until they arrive, as he might be disoriented. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Surrey.
An Abbotsford family business is fed up and desperate for answers. Their property has become a target for illegal dumping, a problem that's happening about once a week. They set up a camera to try and catch the culprits, and now we're going to get a good look at it. CTV's Demetra Marigos again reports.
After the long weekend, Emma McCauley from Future Climate Refrigeration says the last thing she wanted to do was clean up after someone else.
You're watching this on the camera and you're like, I gotta deal with that tomorrow, and it's not even my mess.
Caught on camera Monday evening, you can see a man pulling into the parking lot of the family-run business and
just throwing it around and it's flying.
Trash spread out throughout the parking lot, which included underwear, clothing, kids' toys, and kitchen appliances.
It was pretty gross.
McCauley says despite having clearly labeled signage and cameras, it hasn't deterred people from leaving their garbage here.
So once a week, someone will drive up here and dump their own garbage in our bins.
She added in the last year they have had around 50 instances of people leaving their trash on their property.
We pay for them for our stuff, and yet they're full of other people's crap.
They tried adding a lock, but the issue remained.
They'll cut the locks that we have on the dumpsters, and they'll jump right into the dumpster and they'll take stuff out and they'll just leave it here for us to clean up.
They say they're not sure what else to do.
You know, we don't want your garbage there.
CTV reached out to Abbotsford Mayor Ross Siemens. He emphasized the importance of reporting illegal dumping. In a statement, he says in part, if there is a record of the license plate for the person illegal dumping, by law services can issue a warning or education and or fines as warranted. McCauley says even though they've cleaned up Monday's mess,
it's frustrating.
The stench of others' entitlement still remains.
This is how we make a living for ourselves and our families, and people just don't care.
Demetra Marigo, CTV News, Abbotsford.
And now we turn our attention to how the stock markets are looking as of today compared to yesterday. The Canadian dollar is the same as yesterday. The price of gold is up $46.60. Oil is down $1.61. Natural gas is down 4 cents. Aluminum is down $10.50. In Toronto, the TSX is up 134.74 points. The Venture Index is up 13.03. And in New York, the Dow Jones is down 220.43 and NASDAQ is down 7.30. Still ahead, a lost toy was returned to the child who lost it. Welcome back. And now for a heartwarming tale of a woman finding a lost toy, repairing it, and then returning it to its rightful owner. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more of the details.
So yeah, it was just about right here.
Alyssa Hamlet was walking home when she saw him lying on the sidewalk.
People were stepping over him.
A plushie, all alone.
Like, belly up. He looked so done with life.
So Alyssa picked him up.
And it wasn't super dirty. It just looked really well loved.
And whoever loved it so well would be missing it too much. So Alyssa placed him at eye level for a while before committing to do all she could to reconnect the plushie with his person.
I was like, I'm going to take responsibility of him.
So Alyssa took him home and posted lost plushie posters online after giving the cat a bubble bath.
Toy Story totally brainwashed me a little bit because I see a toy and I feel like it has feelings.
Movies like Toy Story also inspired Alyssa to grow up to bring inanimate objects to life as an animation artist. So every day she posted new pictures of the plushie, from the feline looking forlorn to being comforted by a real cat, until a week later she received a message from a mom.
And she's like, oh my God, that's my 3-year-old.
The cat had fallen out of her son's stroller, and no one noticed until it was too late. And although the mom had tried to replace it with a new one, it just couldn't compare to his one and only Meow Meow.
I knew it was love. I knew it was a little kid's love stuffy.
So they arranged to meet right away. And after tying a bow around the plushie's neck, Alyssa traveled across town and waited at a coffee shop to reunite a boy with his best friend.
Oh my gosh, hi! Hi, buddy! There's your cat! He grabbed it and he was like hugging it, and he showed his mom.
And although his mom said she couldn't be more thankful and the boy offered her his cookie, Alyssa could see from his face all her effort was worth it.
I feel like a lot of people say not my business or not my monkeys, not my circus, kind of thing. But you can make it your business.
And you don't need to be an animator to transform tears into grateful smiles. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
BC Jobs Minister Ravi Kahlon is optimistic about the province's efforts to build a more resilient economy despite flagging August job numbers from across Canada. Kahlon says BC's unemployment rate at 6.2% is both below the Canadian average of 7.1% and fourth lowest in the country, and the province reported an increase of about 11,000 construction jobs. Opposition Conservatives critic Gavin Dew says the jobless rate in BC still rose from July's 5.9% and notes that almost 13% of youth between ages 15 and 24 are out of work. Statistics Canada says the unemployment rate for Vancouver stayed flat in August at 6.1%, while rates rose in Victoria, Nanaimo, Abbotsford, and Chilliwack, and fell in Kamloops and Kelowna. That's all of our news for now. From everyone here at CFTK-TV News, I'm Cael Maslin, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.